Guys and dolls, Freedom Dad here, and rough as a badger, as you can imagine. So hopefully this video goes out all right. So I'm going to bring you a video, and it's Labuna. Labuna talks. Pakistani Muslim woman who's been doing a lot to speak up and speak out about what her community's been doing and why her community don't speak out. So I think we should watch these things and we should understand not only that not all Pakistani Muslims are bad, but they understand from inside the community what's truly going on. So we'll just get into it. I'll jump in between every now and again and say a wee bit. Let's go.
And it's still not too late to turn this country around, but the clock is ticking. Well, there's a lot of things wrong with what's going on at the moment in the country, and I'm about to speak now to somebody who can tell you an even more scary story. It's Lubna Farhan. Lubna, very good morning to you. Good to see you. Yes. You're here, former Apprentice star, to talk to us about grooming gangs, rape gangs as we call them. You're from the Muslim Pakistani community. You've been speaking out about it, and as a result of that, you found yourself in a pretty sticky situation.
A very dire situation. So my situation is very dire. I was born and raised in Luton, and sadly I've had to flee Luton very recently because of death threats coming.
So we've heard a lot about Luton. Obviously Tommy Robinson is from Luton. This is where Tommy Robinson started highlighting everything, from the town of Luton, where back in 15, 20 years ago, he could see what was coming. And what came was a Pakistani Muslim woman who's had death threats and had to leave the town she was most likely born in. So that's what Tommy was saying back then. That's why they silenced him, and that's why they're trying to silence us in Northern Ireland.
Because of death threats coming from people from my own race and faith. So I was raised as a Muslim. I do believe in God, but I'm not religious. I would say I'm more secular. And my parents were born in Pakistan. I was born in England. So what happened is, when I came out of The Apprentice in 2019, I started a YouTube channel. It's called Candid with Lubna. And because I felt like as if this country is divided and the situation seems very, very dire. Like, people are talking about civil war, this kind of stuff. So eventually I started talking about things which I felt could help build bridges between people from my race and religion and the native white English people. So the way I feel is that people from my background can do more to build bridges, and I started doing that by condemning the bad people from within the community.
Well, the condemning thing is important, isn't it? Because we hear this a lot, particularly when there's terrorist attacks or whenever there's an Islamic problem in the country. We always say, and we always hear people say, why doesn't the local community, the Pakistani community, condemn what's going on?
Exactly.
So yeah, I've spoke about this quite a lot, guys, and one of the things that I speak about, that what happens, what I've seen happening, is not only is there no show of disgust or anger of what these people from their community are doing, they're also supporting them. There's evidence of them cheering them and shouting abuse at PFs and judges because these men have been sent down for horrific crimes, And like I say, it's because they don't think there's nothing wrong with it, you know what I mean? And I'll let Lubna talk. I'm going to shut up.
And
I agree.
So it doesn't happen a lot, does it?
It doesn't happen a lot. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to be that spark. And, we always hear about the good apples and the good Muslims, and most Muslims are peaceful. Oh, well, fantastic. Where are they? Because I've been getting death threats. People turned up at my door. I've had to leave my hometown. Obviously, I'm not telling anyone where I am. I'm not openly going out there in the public either, because I literally trust nobody.
And this, our government tell us, is the religion of peace.
And sadly, I was hoping that this would be an opportunity for the Muslim community, the Pakistani community, to come out and condemn and say they condemn what the extremists did. Sadly, I experienced the opposite. So the majority of Muslims and Pakistanis coming underneath my YouTube videos have been saying, oh, we support what's happened to her. Thank God she's not going to be doing YouTube anymore. And I'm thinking, wow, you don't sound very peaceful and very moderate. Where are the moderate Muslims gone? So what these people do is they support the extremists. So in their mind, they think that they are the peaceful, moderate Muslims, but they're supporting the extremists. So in my eyes, you're as bad as the people threatening me.
Yeah, so moderate Muslims, it's one of the things that we talk about. There's moderate Muslims out there. We've always got to say it, obviously, because there is moderate Muslims like Labuna. The problem is there isn't many of them, you know what I mean? You can hear from the horse's mouth here, they support the extremism, and this is the thing about October 7th, the people of Gaza cheered and clapped while they brought them hostages back from Israel, you know, and it is also, like I say as well, about communities being segregated, you know, in Northern Ireland, and with Protestants and Catholics growing up in the 70s and 80s. It's like, you know, if you were brought up in a loyalist area, a paramilitaries, like 2-3 different paramilitaries in organisation, you know, you had to go with the flow. You know, you're not shouting about it and you're not standing up against them. It's nuts, you know what I mean, to even think that. Same with the IRA in West Belfast and Ardoyne and the Divis and all the Falls. No, none of the normal people in the street were going to come out against these men. You know, it's crazy. So it works the same for them. You know, it's exactly the same in these segregated areas in England, you know, where everybody's saying that diversity is great, you know what I mean, where we can see extremism thriving because of the support they get from their communities and so-called moderate Muslims, you know.
And so I am very disappointed in the people living in this country who were maybe born here, but I don't think have integrated and assimilated the way that they should have. Right. And frankly, if that's their attitude, they don't belong in this country.
You know, it's all we ask for. It's all we integrate, you know. Don't try and change things. Enjoy our core values, our principles, and our traditions and cultures, you know what I mean? But they don't want anything to do with us. You know, they want to bring everything that was in Pakistan and Afghanistan and Iraq and Syria and everywhere else. They want to bring everything like that here, just like we see with Eid and, you know, and with the Pakistani Independence Day. And, you know, it's like, this is England. That's England. What's happened to England? You know? And, you know what I mean? It's like, when we say stuff like, you know, if they're not going to come over to integrate, then bolt. Get yourselves back to where you came from. Do what you want to do in your own country where that's your traditions and your cultures are, you know. Why come to a Christian country? There's 55 Muslim countries around the world. Why Britain? We know why. We know why. But, you know, it's difficult, isn't it? Being right-wing when you talk like a Pakistani Muslim and get called far-right. You know, maybe they'll call her far-right as well. Who knows? You know what I mean?
And I'm going to stand by that. You know, just because there are illegal migrants coming in who maybe were born in the same country as my parents or were raised in the same faith as me doesn't mean that I'm happy with illegal migrants coming into this country. I'm sorry, these people are a security threat. And the grooming gangs, the gang rape gangs, let's talk about that. Why can I not condemn those people? It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting.
I've always said this, right? How is it possible that anybody, you know, when we talk about, you know, things like the Labour Party and local Labour councillors and Labour politicians in general have been kind of squeamish about having a go.
Squeamish about not having a go at these guys. It was more than squeamish. They silenced everybody who tried to warn anybody about what was going on. You know, the police were involved, social workers were involved, government officials, you know, people, councillors, all involved and implicit. Nothing squeamish, you know what I mean? It's implicit in crimes. They are children by foreigners. That's what all these people, all implicit. The government, social work, the police, and the mainstream media that silenced everybody, you know, like Tommy Robinson.
It's squeamish about having a go at Pakistani grooming gangs because they're worried that they're going to upset Muslims. You know, why would Muslims not want to condemn them? That's what I've always said. Why would you not, in any situation, want to be Christian?
I think the thing is there's a mixture of things. So there is a lot of ignorance where the community, and I was one of those people who didn't necessarily understand the ins and outs of exactly what these horrible, disgusting rapists actually did to little children here. Yeah. And then when even they do know is sadly where there are the lefties who are giving my people from my background an excuse and saying, you know, you're not the issue. It's the right, it's the far right. Yeah. They're blaming it on you because there are rapists everywhere. That is not helping the situation. But also there's this massive thing about honor. So if you accept there's an issue, you are dishonoring the community. You're dishonoring people from your background. And so what these people, and this happens in Pakistan all the time, is the way they deal with it is by shutting people up. You shut people up and then you pretend the issue is going to go away. But as we can see in this country, things are getting worse and worse. So I'm sorry, as someone who's born here and as someone who loves this country, you know, I feel like it's my duty to speak up. I think we can do more. We need to condemn the bad apples within the community. It's very simple. It's not really complicated more than that. So I don't know what the issue is. So all I can say to the Muslims and Pakistanis listening to this, shame on you. I've had to flee my home because of you guys. And now these people are going to play the Islamophobia card. Ooh, it's racism, Islamophobia. And I find, generally speaking, the Pakistani community to be one of the most racist people, having been raised, you know, in both communities. Yes, of course, there are people who are white and racist because you get racists in all races. But to live here and then complain, go back to where you came from. I'm sorry if you're having an issue living here.
Is there a problem with Pakistani men and young women in terms of a cultural kind of understanding that they may have, that, you know, having sex with underage girls is okay? Is that like a thing?
Here we go.
I think in Pakistan, the age where you can get married is legally 14. So there is that difference between UK and some people who are fresh off the boat may not know that difference. But also I would say that, of course, there are cultural differences, but also the people living, for example, in Pakistan, they also have like a fetish for white girls generally, because they watch porn and they have all these fantasies and stuff. And what they hear about the Western culture is, okay, there are white girls wearing skirts and stuff, so that means they're asking for it, and therefore it's, you know, and so they do find that here as well. But, you know, it's absolutely disgusting. I think people, especially the children born in this country, should do more to educate these people from within their own background to say, look, this is not acceptable here. Keep playing the Islamophobia card and racism card. It's not going to work anytime longer, I think, because people are talking about civil war now. I mean, what are we waiting for? Are we going to wait for a civil war before we're going to start speaking up? So there are a few good Muslims who have supported me and they get it. And you don't have to agree with everything that I say to support my channel, what I'm doing. My channel's name is Candid with Lubna. However, come on, guys, condemn the bad apples, grooming gangs, extremists, the people who are asking for Sharia law. I mean, you've got a whole country, Pakistan, has got 200 million plus people. Build that country. I mean, that country is in need of being built. So I don't know why these people are coming here and then complaining and trying to make as if they're doing us all a favour. I'd rather they weren't here, to be honest. Yeah,
exactly. And what do you make of Labour's plan to define Islamophobia, to try and have a definition for it?
I think this is ridiculous. I think that the people from my race and religion are very intolerant anyway, and you're giving them more excuses to justify their intolerance by having Islamophobia definitions and things like that. So I think, I don't know what they're trying to get at. I don't like the direction this country's going in. Look, I'm condemning the bad apples. I don't even say anything bad about the religion at all, because I know how crazy and psychos people from my faith are. I just condemn the bad apples. And even that has been so intolerant where I've literally had to leave my town. That's unacceptable. This is the future of UK. I'm sorry if I'm scaring people. People need to be scared. This is the future of the UK. I have had to move now. You guys are going to have to move later.
So, you guys are going to have to move later. I'll play it again in a wee second, you know, but this isn't misinformation, guys, right? This isn't far right. This isn't racist, you know. The words that this woman is saying is the words that we're all saying, you know, but we're being attacked for saying it. We're being attacked by Stephen Nolan. I think Stephen Nolan would get her on his show. He's attacking everybody and calling everybody racist. This is why we're doing what we're doing, you know. We don't want to move. We don't want to be replaced. There's something coming. It's big. And when Pakistani Muslim women are warning us, we need to pay attention. You know, what more do you want? You don't want to hear from a white bank robber. Then there's an educated Muslim woman born in this country from Pakistani parents. Why would she do this to herself? Why would she put herself in so much danger? You know, if there wasn't something big coming, if there wasn't a problem, you know. So it is quite serious, guys. And we don't do this for the fun of our health. We, you know, getting put in the papers and all sorts of madness wrote about you to try and bring you down, to silence you, to get people to stop listening to me. That's what they do. You know, they have everybody working against you. People in the, that you think are your friends, and people, you know, the newspapers and media broadcasters all have a dig to silence us, to shut us up, so we don't tell you what's coming, so you don't know what's going on in England. And that's why I do what I do. I do it just simply to warn you that what I know, everybody needs to know. And most of you do know. So the more know, they'll never be able to silence us all. Simple as that. The more know is the most important thing. And this is why I am so loud and so proud, because their weapon is to silence us. Your weapon is to do your bit. Your weapon is to get online. Your weapon is to tell your friends and your family, share videos. You know, I'll put the link in the description to this video so you can share it with your friends and family. The video that you're watching. Not this video that you're watching, but the video, Lubna's video with Mike Graham. Link will be in the description, and you can screen record it, put it up on your social medias, or share it with friends and family. We'll just let her finish off and I'll say a few words before I go.
future of the UK. I have had to move now. You guys are going to have to move later.
Are you worried that that's going to be a problem then for everyone?
It already is.
This is kind of the encroachment of Muslim communities onto the rest of Britain.
Yes, I would say, what has the police done to help me? What has anyone done to help me? So I literally have no choice now but to get support from more people as a form of protection for myself now, because I feel like, you know, I'm trying to do a good deed. I'm trying to help the community, because they don't realize that if, God forbid, a civil war breaks out, I'm going to get attacked from both sides, because I'm going to get attacked from people who are calling me, you know, a traitor from my background. Yes. And then also there are obviously those people on the right, white people, some people, minority, that are not going to accept me either. So I'm going to get bashed from both sides. So I'm saying, let's kind of like avoid that situation. Let's condemn the bad people. Let's do more to help the government. And if you are siding with extremists, like if you're coming underneath my videos and you're saying that, we're so happy she's gone, we're not an extremist, we're a moderate Muslim, but if you're not condemning the people threatening me, I'm sorry, then you're as guilty in my eyes. Yeah.
Lubna, good to see you, and good luck with it all. And hopefully you won't have to be in hiding for too much longer. But thank you so much for coming in, Lubna. And give us the name of the channel once again.
It's called Candid with Lubna.
Candid with Lubna. Check it.
So, guys, I want you to give her some love. I want you to go onto the channel, click the link in the description, and give her a subscribe, give her some love. It is very sad, you know, sad when she's saying about the right and she wouldn't be accepted, you know. I can see certain political parties like the National Front that wouldn't accept Lubna, but, you know, as a right-wing citizen journalist and activist, I would vote for Lubna. I would vote for her all day long. I don't see her any different than me. It doesn't matter if she's Pakistani, doesn't matter if she's Muslim, doesn't matter if she's got different colour skin. She's a patriot, just like me. And this is what we always try to get across, you know, and it's difficult. It is really, really difficult because, you know, people, yeah, you're racist. No, I've got a black friend, you know what I mean? That old one, it is really difficult, and it is getting to a stage where we don't care any longer, you know, and I want you not to care anymore now, you know, because, you know, I know everybody on my channel will get right behind Lubna. I know who you are. I know we aren't racist. We're just worried about our future. We're worried about our children's future, and there's every reason. Every reason's there. It's right there in that video, guys. You don't need to look any further. You don't need to question freedom, Dad. It's right there. If you've ever doubted me, watch that video again. Listen, guys, still got a sore head, believe it or not. Yeah, going to stop drinking. But yeah, I had a really good night with you guys. 4 hours, you know what I mean? Absolutely brilliant. 3,000 views. I have made it private now here because it is a private thing. It's between us, you know, and yeah, earn a bit of dirty washing, which is fair enough as well. But you know, it's between us patriots, and we will iron them all out. Nobody's falling out with anybody. Just a bit disappointed and stuff like that. But like I say, I support all patriots, and I'll never not support a patriot. If he's doing something good for my lucky, then I'm behind him. You know what I mean? But yeah, this conversations need to be had, and an understanding of like getting things right, doing things right. You know what I mean? And just maybe. People taking advice, you know what I mean, and listening to other people around them, and you know, it's like anything in the world. What we everything we do, you know what I mean. Everybody thinks they knows best. It's the human instinct of us, and you know, it's a trait. It's not the worst trait in the world, you know what I mean. So, like I said, it's a bigger picture. You know, the patriots of Northern Ireland are united. You know what I mean. We understand there's a bigger picture here, and egos and personal opinions aren't going to get in the way of us saving and doing what we need to do for our country, saving it from being replaced, by our children being replaced, as we see what's going on in England, as you see with the warnings that Lubna has been giving us. And I hope most of you have been watching her for a long time, so you've seen a lot of her stuff. And yeah, I'm concerned. I know you will be concerned. Why is our media not listening? Why is our government trying to bring in Islamophobia laws? Islam is not the religion of peace, guys. Far from it. I'm Freedom Dad, and God bless.